Good day, everyone. My video presentation for this week, sports law, is about Title IX self-audit. I'm doing self-audit on Howard University. Howard University, founded in 1867, which is a private research university comprised of 13 schools and colleges. Total students enrolled at Howard University for the 2021 semester is 9,399. There are 8 men's sports that are offered at the university and 11 women's sports that are offered also at the university. Okay, this is the breakdown of how many student athletes participate for each sport. First off, the Howard University is a member of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. In basketball, there are 15 males that participate, and there are 13 females that participate for Howard University in basketball. There is no bowling at the university for men's, but there's a bowling team at the university for women, which has 6 student athletes, female student athletes on the team. In cross country, there are 31 men's on the cross country and track and field team combined, and there are 32 women student athletes on the cross country and track and field team combined. In football, there are 64 male student athletes, and as we know, there's no female football team. In golf, there are 6 male student athletes on the golf team, and on the women's team, there are 5 female student athletes. In soccer, there are 30 male student athletes on the soccer team, and there are 29 female student athletes on the soccer team at Howard University. For swimming, there are 23 male student athletes on the swimming and diving team, and for women, there are 21 female student athletes on the swimming and diving team. In tennis, there are 6 male student athletes on the tennis team, and there are 6 female student athletes on the tennis team. In men's sports, there is no softball team for men's sports. Usually they would have a baseball team for men's, but there are no baseball team either for men's. But for softball, for women, there are 20 female student athletes for the women's softball team. For lacrosse, there is no lacrosse team at Howard University for male student athletes, but there is a women's lacrosse team at Howard University, which has 38 female student athletes on the team. For volleyball, there is no male volleyball team at the university, but there is a women's volleyball team at the university, which has 12 female student athletes that are on the volleyball team at Howard University. Howard University Athletic Facts. The total enrollment population participating in athletics is 357. The total number of men participating in athletics is 175, which is 49% of the total enrollment. The total number of women participating in athletics is 182, which is 51% of the total enrollment population participating in athletics. Title IX states that no person shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, denied the benefits of be treated differently from another person or otherwise be discriminated against in any interscholastic, intercollegiate, club, or intramural athletics offered by a recipient, and no recipient shall provide any such athletics separately on such basis. Title IX states also that if an institution sponsors athletic program, equal athletic opportunities must be provided for both sexes. According to the LTC 506, the three-prong test provides three alternative means of compliance with participation opportunities requirement. A school needs to satisfy only one of the three-prong tests in order to comply. Component 1. Effective accommodation of athletics interests and abilities. Participation opportunities. Three-prong test. 1. Substantial proportionality. Ratio of male athletic participation and female athletic participation must be substantially proportional to ratio of male enrollment and female enrollment. 2. History and continuing practice. The school must show continuing practice in the very recent past of expanding its women's sports offerings. And 3 of the three-prong test, full and effective accommodation. The interests and abilities of female athletes have been fully and effectively accommodated, as documented by regularly administered surveys of females for emerging interests in sports. The prong I decided to go with is prong 1. Substantial proportionality. Ratio of male athletic participation and female athletic participation must be substantially to ratio of male enrollment and female enrollment. Prong 1 is about numbers and percentages based on enrollment and students participating in athletics. The purpose of prong 1 is to make sure this is being met. Data is gathered on prong 1 to see if the athletic participation rate of women is substantially proportional to the enrollment percentage of women. Number 1. Compute female enrollment percentage. For number 1, I divided the total number of females enrolled at Howard University by the total number of students enrolled at the university. Female enrollment percentage. Girls enrolled at Howard University was 6,673 divided by the total students enrolled at the university was 9,399. So I divide 6,673 by 9,399, which equals 71%. For number 2, compute unduplicated female participation rate. For number 2, I looked at all the rosters and counted all the students that played a sport for Howard University. Students that played multiple sports only counted as one. For example, one female student athlete that ran both track and cross country would equal one sport. I divided the number of females participating in one or more sports at Howard University by the total number of student athletes participating in one or more sports at the school. Number of female student athletes participating in one or more sports is 182 divided by the total number of student athletes participating in one or more sports. It's 357. So I divide 182 by 357, which equals 51%. Number 3, compute duplicated female participation rate. For number 3, I looked at all the rosters and counted all the students that participated in more than one sport. This means a female student athlete that ran both cross country and track would equal 2. I divided the total participation by females in all sports at Howard University by the total participation number of male and female student athletes in all sports. Male student athletes that played more than one sport was 10. Female student athletes that played more than one sport was 13. Total number of females participating in all sports, when I calculated, when I add the 13 to the 182, it came to 195. and divided by the total participants of male and female in all sports, which was 380 when I added the 10 male student athletes that played more than one sport. My calculation was 195 divided by 380, which equals 51%. For number 4, the unduplicated participation variance. For number 4, I subtracted number 1, compute female enrollment percentage, which is 71%, by number 2, compute unduplicated female participation rate, which was 51%. So this calculation was 71% minus 51%, which equals 20%. And for number 5, duplicated participation variance, I subtracted number 1, compute female enrollment percentage, which was 71%, by number 3, compute duplicated female participation rate, which was 51%. So my calculation was 71% minus 51% equals 21%. The results: the unduplicated participation variance equals 20%, and the duplicated participation variance equals 20%. The findings: the duplicated and unduplicated participation variance percentage is higher than 5%. Howard University, this means that Howard University is not in compliance under Title 9, Prong 1. The courts will rule against the education institution if participation variance exceeds 5%, but Howard University only needs to comply with one of the 3-prong tests to meet the required needs of Title 9. I also looked at the other parts of the 3-prong test, and I came to the conclusion that Howard University is compliance with the other two of the 3-prong tests. So they would be in compliance under Title 9 because of them, being in compliance with the other 2 parts of the 3-prong test. The implication for athletic and activities administrator. The athletic and activities administrator should have knowledge of all policies and procedures. They also should be familiar with rules and guidelines of Title 9. Also, they should make sure the institution is in compliance and remains in compliance with Title 9. Also, they should analyze equal opportunities on a consistent basis within the athletic program. The athletic activities administrator can conduct a survey with stakeholders to get an idea of if the athletic program follows the rules and guidelines for Title 9, such as making facilities accessible to female student athletes and getting the same benefits as male student athletes. Finally, have guidelines in place for resolving Title 9 complaints, as well as educating stakeholders on how to file a complaint alleging Title 9 violation. Okay, with what I get from this 3-prong test is that it is good that it was implemented for schools to follow, so they could be able to give the opportunities to female athletes that wasn't given to them in years past. So the schools can be able to make sure that they get the same benefits as the male student athletes. Like one of the things that I came across, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and for the NCAA tournament, what I mentioned in the course throughout this time, I was in the course, was with female student athletes who play basketball for their schools. When they went to the NCAA tournament, there was a few weight training equipment for them, compared to the male basketball players, student athletes who had a ballroom full of weight room equipment for them to use at their disposal. So that's one of the things that the talent line do to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know how that was able to happen, given that the NCAA is a big organization, and they should know that the girls basketball teams use the same type of equipment as the male basketball teams, and they should be given the equal access to the same weights that the male has. And also, I noticed in that the perks and like bags and towels and extras like gifts, more was given to the male student athletes during the NCAA tournament than the female student athletes for the NCAA tournament. So with that being said, I believe the 3-point test is the best thing that ever happened to athletics in schools, whether high school and university, to make sure women get equal access to everything that men get also. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope you guys enjoy and have a good day.